me be clear about this. We were not forewarned we would be sharing a locker room. No one asked for our consent, and we did not give our consent. And I'll set the scene. A swimming locker room is not a place of modesty. You're undressing, you're fully exposed. And we were forced to take off our swimsuit in front of a man who was doing the exact same thing.
Some of these stories that I'm about to share are disturbing. I would have never thought that I would live in a time where men can become women and women can become men regardless of their biology. Although God in Genesis 1:27 says that he has created male and female in his image, the very essence of basic biology and natural creation is being forsaken in our godless culture.
And it is incredibly important for us to understand that right before God gives us instructions about manhood and womanhood and marriage, God lays out his law so that we understand the way things work. And that is that God is the sovereign creator of the world and everything in it. And as the sovereign creator of the world and everything in it, God tells us what things are and how things are to be. God is the one who creates and defines humanity. God is the one who creates and defines manhood and womanhood. God is the one who tells us what is a man and what is a woman.
Fallon Fox, a biological male, was the first person in 2013 to come out as transgender in women's mixed martial arts. In 2014, she fought against Tamika Brents, a biological woman, and brutally knocked her out in just under 2 minutes. Her orbital bone inside her skull was fractured. She received multiple staples and suffered a concussion. Here is the objective truth. Men and women are vastly different. We are different in how we socialize, we have different hormonal levels, we are different in our reproductive systems, and different in our skeletal structures, that if we took bones of someone who passed away 100 years ago, we would be able to tell without a doubt whether this person was a male or female. Moreover, men are physically stronger than women. To make a man fight a woman in a combat sport is utterly a shame and a representation, normalization, and acceptance of inequality and sin. The last story that I want to share has become very controversial in the past few years. Leah Thomas, a 6'1" biological male, was the first transgender athlete to win an NCAA national championship in the 500-yard freestyle swimming event in 2022, robbing 7 other female contestants, including Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines is a former NCAA national competitive swimmer with several notable accolades, but now speaks up for women's rights, safety, and fairness. In 2023, Riley Gaines was at San Francisco State University protesting against transgender athletes in women's sports. The opposing transgender crowd quickly became violent towards her. Here is a video of that incident.
Former collegiate swimming champion Riley Gaines is threatening legal action against San Francisco State. She says trans activists at the school assaulted her Thursday night after she voiced her opposition to allowing athletes who transition from male to female to compete against women. She tells Tucker Carlson what happens next.
All of a sudden, after my speech, the room was stormed. The lights were turned off, and I was rushed with no one there to escort me to a safe place. I was punched, I was hit multiple times, I was shoved, until finally we exited the room.
Gaines had to barricade herself inside a classroom for 3 hours, and she says the protesters demanded ransom if she wanted to make it home safely.
Jesus says in the end times, our culture will become more dark, evil, and sinful just before he returns. So we shouldn't be surprised that this is happening. Romans 1:30 says people are inventors of evil. It's not enough to sin against a holy God, but unbelievers will invent new ways of sinning. Sin is normalized, defended, regulated by our government, and praised as righteous. Isaiah 5:20 says this, "Woe to those who call good evil and evil good, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." Brother, sister, you have to wake up and understand that we are in a sexual revolution that has taken evil to new heights, and this is just the beginning. William Wolfe, theological commentator, says this,
"If you've watched as our country and culture slide down the slippery slope of the sexual sexual revolution, from legalizing sodomy to legalizing gay marriage to normalizing transgenderism to making trans kids. And you think that we won't end up legalizing pedophilia in America in the next few years. You are sorely mistaken. The United Nations already has the legal justification ready to go.
Church, we need to stand up boldly for the truth of God. We need to stand firm in the faith of Jesus Christ. We need to be courageous, gentle, and loving in defending the hope that is within us. We need more brothers and sisters who are empowered by the Holy Spirit to do whatever it takes to speak truth into the lives of those who are lost and headed to an eternal hell.
Every sin that you and I have ever committed is written on this certificate of debt. It once was posted upon the prison cell of sin in which we lived in. We were under the wrath of God. The sentence of death had already been declared upon us. The stench of death was in our dying soul. And Jesus, upon Calvary's cross, He took that certificate of debt, and it was nailed to the cross. And there all of our sins and all of our iniquities and all of our transgressions were nailed to Calvary's cross. And Him who knew no sin, God made to be sin for us. And upon that cross, as He shed His blood in our place, He paid in full the entirety of our sin debt. And if the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed.
Only the gospel of Jesus Christ can set someone free from sin and death. He can give you true joy. He can give you true purpose. He can give you true life. And He can give you an eternal hope that will satisfy your soul forever.
May God grant us grace to believe this truth, to proclaim this truth, and to reflect this truth so that a lost and dying world can hear it, flee from sin, and find salvation in Christ.
Hi, my name is Daniel and welcome to my channel. I'm a husband, lead pastor, church planter, content creator, and passionate about health and fitness. The vision for this channel is to inspire and encourage Christians in the divine truth of God's Word for His glory. I create short and long form content highlighting theologically sound Bible teachers, addressing cultural issues, and identifying false teachers. I post new content every single day, investing hours to create free valuable material for you. Your support would mean the world to me. Consider subscribing and watching my videos all the way until the end. To Jesus alone be the glory. God bless.